Hello dear learners, welcome in this video for gravimetric titration part 3. In this video we will discuss purity in precipitate, co-precipitation and post-precipitation, the concepts of surface adsorption, occlusion and mechanical entrapment. So let us start the lecture. First we will see the properties of precipitate, means how should be our precipitate. So the precipitate should be so insoluble. It should be insoluble that no significant loss occurs during filtration and washing. This is a very important thing. Our precipitate should be insoluble enough. Okay. Physical nature of precipitate should be such that it can be easily separated by filtration. We should easily separate our precipitate. The precipitate should be stable to atmospheric condition. The PPT should be convertible. If it is not stable, it will not convert into the pure form. But what is our condition? The PPT should be stable. So it must be convertible to pure compound of definite composition. Thereby what we can do? So ignition or by simple chemical operations such as evaporation. It have a large crystal, means it is easier to filter large crystals. Be free of contaminations. Obviously our precipitate should be free from contamination. It should be pure. Now we will see what are the factors that will determine particle size. Now first of all, why there is a need to study this? Because see, particle size of precipitate is very important. Okay, so the particle size of solid formed by precipitation varies enormously. At one extreme, there is a colloidal suspension. Tiny particles are invisible to the naked eye. This is the particle size of colloidal suspension. So colloidal particles, it show no tendency to settle down from solution. This is the property of colloidal particle. It will not settle from solution, nor they are easily filtered. So it will stay in the solution. It will not get easily filtered. It will filter but not get easily filtered, and there is no tendency to settle from the solution. So the temporary dispersion of such particle in the liquid phase is called crystalline suspension. So there will be a, we can say, in solution, that kind of colloidal particle will not stay. How it will stay in a solution? There will be a temporary dispersion, okay, in a liquid phase, and we can say it is known as the crystalline suspension. The particles of a crystalline suspension tend to settle spontaneously and are readily filtered. Okay, so here there is a need. Okay, we have to study particle size. Now the particle size of precipitate is influenced by experimental variable as precipitate solubility, okay, temperature, then reactant concentrations and rate at which the reactant are mixed. They are very important factors for particle size. The particle size, now how we can measure it, or when we can say our particle is colloidal and it will be crystalline solid. So there is a formula. See, the particle size is related to a single property of system, that is known as the relative supersaturation, where what is relative supersaturation means Q minus S divided by S. Now what is Q? Q is the concentration of our solute, and what is S? It is its equilibrium. Is its equilibrium solubility. Now what happens when Q minus S divided by S, means we can say the relative supersaturation is large. Then we can say that the precipitate tends to be colloidal, and when it is small there will be a crystalline solid. Okay, so this is how from particle size we should know how will be our precipitate, in which form it will be there. Now we will see our main topic. It's a purity of precipitate. So obviously our precipitate should be pure. There should be no impurity. So when the precipitate is separated out from solution, it is always not perfectly pure. It's a very common thing. When precipitate is separated, okay, it is not pure. It may be contaminated even after washing also. It may be contaminated. So it's a very important topic, purity of precipitate, that we have to study. So the amount of impurities. Now if there is no purity, then obviously there will be a impurity. So the amount of impurities depends on nature of precipitate and condition of precipitation. Obviously the manual error will come. We can say whatever nature of precipitate is there, it is also affected. Okay, so and condition of our precipitation. Okay, so it may be due to, and generally if we are talking about some physico-chemical parameters, so there are the parameters like co-precipitation, post-precipitation, surface adsorption, mixed crystal formation, occlusion and mechanical entrapment. Now see, we have to study generally here two things. One is co-precipitation and other one is post-precipitation. Now let me clear what is the difference between co-precipitation and post-precipitation. See, if there is an impurity like co-precipitation, we can separate this type of impurity. Okay, we can separate this type of impurities. We cannot separate this type of impurities. For example, if we are mixing sugar and salt, okay, then we can easily separate sugar and salt, right? Particle of sugar and salt we can separate because there is a different particle size. So if the color is white also, then we can separate because the texture as well as the particle size is different. But what about post precipitation? When I am saying that I am dissolving the sugar and salt in a water, okay, now it is soluble. It's already soluble. Both of it's soluble. So we cannot separate it after dissolving. So it is a type of post precipitation, that we cannot separate this type of impurities. Okay, co-precipitation we can separate it. Now we will see what is it actually. So what is co-precipitation? Co-precipitation is a phenomenon in which the soluble compounds are removed, okay, from solution during precipitate formation. Means what? See, if we will consider this as our PPT, what happens if this will be our precipitate? Then soluble compounds are removed from solution. Okay, our soluble compound will be removed. See, okay, when there is this is a formation of precipitate, then this kind of compounds will be removed. See, these are the soluble compounds and they are removed when precipitate, during precipitate formation. So this is known as actually the co-precipitation. Now there are four types of co-precipitation, which are the type of co-precipitation. So surface adsorption, immixed crystal formation. Sometimes there will be a surface adsorption, sometimes there will be a immixed crystal formation, sometimes occlusion and mechanical entrapment. Now surface adsorption and mixed crystal formation are a type of equilibrium process, but occlusion and mechanical entrapment arise from kinetics of the crystal growth. We will not discuss this thing, but we will see what is it actually, what is the basic concept and what is it. Now see, first we will see the surface adsorption. So what is surface adsorption? So surface adsorption means what? Adsorption is a common source of co-precipitation. It is a source of co-precipitation. Okay, it is likely to cause significant contamination of precipitate with large specific surface areas that is coagulated colloids. Generally, what is surface adsorption means what? The impurities, if we will see that this is our molecule, this is our PPT, okay, then what happened? The impurities will be here, okay, it will surround it, means on the surface of precipitate there will be a impurities. So this is known as surface adsorption. So impurities will be on the surface of precipitate. So what is it? Adsorption, okay, it will produce a contamination of precipitate with a large specific surface area. Okay, we can say it's an impurity that is known as coagulated colloids. So coagulation of colloid does not significantly decrease the amount of adsorption because coagulated solid still contain large internal surface area. Okay, if this impurity will be present in the form of colloid, okay, it is also have a large surface area, right? So we cannot decrease the amount of adsorption. So the co-precipitated contaminant on coagulated colloid consists of lattice ion originally adsorbed on surface before coagulation, okay, and counter ion of opposite charge held in the film of solution immediately adjacent to the particle. What happened? The co-precipitated contaminant on a coagulated solid, if it consists of a lattice, okay, lattice ion is there, it will adsorb on surface before coagulation. So what happened? The counter ion, whatever counter ion is present of opposite charge, it will held in the film of solution. Okay, so the net effect of surface adsorption is therefore the carrying down of otherwise should compound as a surface contaminant. Okay, we should take care of this, otherwise what happened? Our compound will be a surface contaminant. Okay, there will be impurity on the surface. So this is our surface adsorption. Now we will see the mixed crystal formation. Now what is mixed crystal formation? So here what happened? It is a troublesome phenomenon in which one of the ions in the crystal lattice of the solid is replaced by another element. For example, if you can see here, there is a red color particles, we can say there is a blue color particles. See here, there are major, means the color of particles are red and blue, right? But here we can see there is a two type of impurity of a black particle is there. It's our impurity, two impurities are there, okay, which is a black color. It's our impurities. Now what happened? It will come over here, okay, in between the particles. Okay, so it will replace here. See, there should be actually red particle, okay, but it will replace by black particle. So this is known as mixed crystal formation. If such change should occur, then both the ions must have the same charge, okay, and their size must not differ by more than about 5%. Means if this kind of impurity will come and it will produce a crystal, then what we can do, how we can okay, if this kind of change will occur, then there will be two things. Our particle should have a same charge. If there is a positive charge, okay, the impurity should also have positive charge, and the size must not differ. That should be equivalent to same particle size, as well as, or we can say that it should not more than 5%. Okay, so this is the mixed crystal formation. Now we will see the next is a occlusion. So basically, if I am talking about occlusion, what is it? Okay, there will be a, if this is our precipitate, okay, and if this is our precipitate. So in between two precipitate, when there is a impurity, okay, if this is a impurity, so what happened? This condition is known as occlusion. This is what our impurity. So in occlusion what happen? The impurity will come in between the particles. In between are two precipitate, okay, in between the precipitate. So a drastic but effective way to minimize the effect of adsorption is a reprecipitation, or we can say the double precipitation. Here see, there is a counter ion is there. This is known as a counter ion. There is a rapid precipitate formation. See here what happened. The filtered solid is redissolved. How it will occur? So filtered solid, what we have filtered, is redissolved and reprecipitated. Okay, we have to redissolve it and reprecipitate. Okay, so what happened? Before reprecipitation means for first time, the first precipitate ordinarily carries down only a fraction of contaminant present in an original solution. Okay, when there will be a formation of precipitate first time, what happen if there is a presence of impurity like this? Okay, like this, then what happen? For first time, the precipitate carried only the fraction of contaminant present in an original solvent. Thus, the solution containing redissolved precipitate has significantly lower contaminant concentration, clear, than original. If in first precipitate we are getting whatever contaminant present in a solvent, okay, so obviously if we are redissolving it, if we are reprecipitating it, there will be a very less chance for that particular impurity. So even less adsorption occurs during the second precipitation. So reprecipitation adds substantially to the time required for an analysis. So this is occlusion, a type of co-precipitation we can say. Then there is a mechanical entrapment. Now what is the mechanical entrapment? Means we can say it's based on crystal growth. So mechanical entrapment occurs when the crystal lie closer together during the growth. Okay, so here we can see there is a two crystal. Now rapid growth and merging of particle. So these two particles merge together and it form this crystal. Okay, so here what happened? It occurs when crystal lie close together during the growth. This kind of impurity, this kind of phenomenon will occur. Hence several crystals grow together and in so doing trap a portion of solution in a pocket. Okay, here you can see that this is a solution, a portion of solution. So it is low when the rate of precipitate formation is slow. See, it's depend on a rate of precipitate. We can say the crystal growth is depend on a rate of precipitate. When there is a fast precipitation process, we can observe the kind of co-precipitation of a mechanical entrapment. But when there is a slow precipitation, we don't observe generally this kind of things, right? Now this is all about co-precipitation. Now we will see the post-precipitation. So what is post-precipitation? As I said, the impurities that we cannot remove by washing easily, right? So sometimes, now when it will occur? So when the precipitate is allowed to stand in presence of mother liquor, means our solvent, the second substance will form the precipitate with the precipitating agent. Okay. Sometimes what happen? Why this kind of impurities or why this kind of post precipitation will occur? When already there is a precipitate present in our solvent, but because of impurity there will be a precipitate, okay, with precipitating agent. At that time, whatever because of impurity we are getting our precipitate in a soluble form, and this is our post precipitation. So the process by which an impurity is deposited after precipitation of the desired substance is a post precipitation. So longer the precipitate remain in a solution, obviously it's a direct effect, greater is the chance for post precipitation. greater chance for reaction. So what we have to do when we are performing gravimetric analysis, we have to avoid such kind of post precipitation, because it is not removed by washing also, it will not remove by ignition also. So what we have to do, we have to do our step very fastly, because we will not give the chance of this kind of post precipitation. How we can avoid it? Obviously we have to do all these steps fastly. So if we will see example, what happen if magnesium is present as an impurity along with calcium, right? Our main precipitate is calcium, but if magnesium is present as an impurity with calcium, then there during the synthesis of calcium oxalate, so there are chances of post precipitation of magnesium oxalate. Actually what we are preparing, what will be our product? It will be calcium oxalate. But if there will be a presence of magnesium with a calcium oxalate, sometimes what happen, there will be a soluble impurity of magnesium present with calcium. So in place of calcium oxalate, we will get magnesium oxalate. This is an example of post precipitation. So post precipitation, okay, we cannot avoid it easily by washing, but we can avoid it by maintaining a high pH. Okay, and we can do all the steps, all our operations very fastly, so we can avoid it. So this is all about purity of precipitate, co-precipitation and post-precipitation. Thank you dear learners for watching the video. Keep learning.